Aries rising. How you doing, Aries? This is a little mini reading for the Capricorn solstice portal. This is a big deal. This is one of the 4 big portals of the year that tie us into the earth cycles. This energy we're going to be working with until predominantly till the summer solstice. But there is going to be an upgrade in the energy around your season, Aries, at the Aries equinox. This Capricorn energy is still going to be relevant, but we're just going to get that little bonus extra layer when we have as I said, the Aries equinox. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, this is about shifting into the yang energy of the year. This is when the days start getting longer. We're planting seeds. For me, this is the new year. I live in the Northern Hemisphere of the bigger Earth cycle. The rebirth of the sun. We're planting these seeds. We're preparing. We're taking a little bit of action. We're building and building and building. It's all going to then kick off with the Aries equinox and then take us to the summer solstice. So that's the vibe for the Northern Hemisphere. Southern Hemisphere, you are now moving into a yin experience, right? Everything that you've been doing, your outward yang action, you're now pulling inwards all that wisdom and you're cultivating that over the next 6 months. So you can apply what comes through in this reading to both of those hemispheres. Now, there's a 2-part series, and honestly, what came through in those 2 readings blew my tiny little mind. It was very powerful, very beautiful energy. Part 1 is where I break down the astrology in way more detail of the exact moment the sun moved into Capricorn. I also pulled collective tarot cards. Some big transmissions came through in that reading as well, which were pretty powerful. I also talk about the solstice, right? And in particular with the winter solstice, and the resonance and the meaning behind all of that, and how why it's such a big portal. Part 2 is when I read all these oracle cards, and I won't do any spoilers. There's certain things I would like to say out loud now, but I'm not going to do any spoilers. It was just there was quite a lot of resonance and quite a lot of magic coming through in those 2 things. And obviously this is even though I'm doing a little mini reading here, this is a big portal. It is a big deal, so you might want to go check it out, especially because the sun was squaring the north node in Aries, as well as the south node in Libra. At the time of recording this, the ascendant is in Aries, so we're tapping into your energy big time. The ascendant is about to come, it will probably in about 10 minutes into conjunction with Chiron as well, so maybe something around that will come up. So I read for the rising signs. So for those of you who don't have Aries in the 1st house, look to the house it does fall in. Look to the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes along with all the other meaning you've got going on in the sign of Aries to the messages that come through, because it will be as if that Aries energy, wherever it falls in your natal chart, has now energetically moved to the 1st house. Oh, interesting. Cut the deck 3 times. Got the 9 of Wands, burnt out, exhausted, on the defensive. The Tower, pulling down that structure, to the Ace of Swords. So, as I said, wherever it falls will energetically move to the 1st house. So the astrology is always going to link in. For example, I've got Aries over in the 9th house, and I've got my midheaven there. So I would apply the themes of the 9th as well as the meaning of the midheaven to what comes through in this reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Now I'm going to be pulling cards for 2 different piles. The first pile is the download that you're getting at this portal, and then the second pile is how to work with it. We'll also get the card at the bottom of the deck, and I'm going to be pulling 1 card from 2 different oracle cards. One card from 2 different oracle decks. Now, Aries, where is this happening for you? Well, it's happening up in Capricorn, in your 10th house of your life purpose, right? Okay. Your life purpose, your career. Career doesn't have to be life purpose. It can just facilitate it. Visibility, reputation, how the big outside world sees you. It's also linked into bosses. So you get a massive portal opening up every year in your life path, right? In your 10th house. And this is squaring your Aries energy, itoela, where you build, right? So big downloads, big activations over the next stage of your life purpose and your career, right? I can see this helping heal wounds around visibility and reputation, right? Of whether we feel like we're being validated by the outside world or not, and how that may diminish how we walk our path, right? And understand our life purpose. Itoela, dishelemo ishanima otoela diatufala diana. An elevation of that life path, of that career, of your visibility, of your awareness and understanding. Just got the sound in my left ear just went itoela. Okay, interesting. Itanima otoenima dishinima duela ditofala diane. Okay. All right, this card's been wild. Ishinia. Dolphin, you got a bonus card for pile 1 as well. So a real sense of clarity and vision about where you're headed and what you're doing, right? And an embodiment of that. And so we want to look, those are the sort of core themes, right, that are being activated with this portal. And we want to look to where Saturn is, because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and wherever Saturn is influencing what's going on with the signs that it rules. So it's going to be influencing this portal. It's over in your 12th house in Pisces, your hidden house, your house of mysteries, the unconscious realms, things going on behind the scenes, the unseen realms. And in the 12th house, we can have distorted love languages, trauma responses, limiting beliefs that can activate anxiety, depression, loss, grief, isolation, all of that good stuff. But underneath all of that is the magic of your soul. Saturn's been there for a while. It will be moving signs into your sign, Aries, along with Neptune. I cannot wait to do that transit. That's wild. Big power up around your own divinity, guys. So Saturn loves being in the 12th. Regulars, you know, I've been talking about this. You've been getting a lot of support. Just feel the need to get one extra card from the second oracle deck. So Saturn is influencing what's going on with this sun, with the vision. And so Saturn comes along and knocks down foundations that don't serve us for the next 30 years. And with that knocking down, it can bring it to the surface and often feel like a difficult transit. Saturn's got your back. Saturn wants you to be integral, wants you to be committed to your own integrity and how you walk your talk. So it's been clearing out unconscious responses. Okay, they keep wanting to give you quite a lot of cards. Let's get one final card, please, guys. Unconscious responses that have stopped you from truly walking your path. And so Saturn, like those love languages of whether you're able to receive visibility and reputation, whether you're worthy of a life path or a career, right? We can hold that down there. You know, it could be about relationships in your life, that you want an important relationship, that those love languages are just projecting old habits and old wounds. So Saturn is making sure like there's a real sense of integrity coming from your 12th house, the magic of your soul that's feeding in to the sun of the vision, right? Of releasing the bonds, releasing the wounds. So you can build for the long term. Now, at the exact moment that the sun moved into the sign of Capricorn, the moon was over in Virgo at 13 degrees, opposing Saturn at 13 degrees of Pisces. Pretty wild stuff. And so Virgo for you is in your 6th house of work, the adult in the room, how you work. How you work, physical health, routines, co-workers, and therefore collaboration, pets, and therefore acts of service. So the moon, you're going to be very intuitively guided around stepping up to your own plate, right? The adult in the room can really be a bit of a struggle bus for us because we may not have learned have proper role models growing up of how to be the adult in the room, how to appreciate work and take care of ourselves, how to work together with other people. Right, that moon is going to be guiding you towards things that nourish you, things that nourish your needs, that you're very being able to bring a lot of facilitation and flow in regards to putting things into practice, figuring things out that serve your life purpose and your career, right? Again, that 6th house. If you haven't figured out how you work, how you're going to show up with other people, how you're going to communicate properly? How are you going to have healthy relationships? And so that moon is really helping and strengthening your intuitive body around all of those things. That's allowing you to be able to elevate that career and life path. But it's opposite. So all of this is influencing the moon, by the way. The sun, apologies. So the moon opposite Saturn, again, releasing old love languages, old wounds, old limiting beliefs of how you show up and be the adult in the room into your own incarnation. This is also about activating the magic of your soul into the way that you work, into the way that you co-create. Now they are both square. Mercury over in Sagittarius and Jupiter over in Gemini. Right, this is what's called a grand mutable cross. All the mutable signs are being activated. We're getting cardinal energy with the sun, instigating a new frequency, a new dynamic, and then this huge mutable energy, allowing us to be very fluid and adapt and flow and change and evolve with this new frequency rather than being stuck and limited. Jupiter's over in Gemini in your third house of communication, of how you find meaning in the day-to-day, right? Your the things you do on a day-to-day basis, your local community, learning new things as well. Mercury, sorry, my brain just completely froze. Mercury's over in Sagittarius, which is your perspectives, right? How you map yourself out in the world, how you understand yourself in regards to everything else, how you understand everything else. What are your perspectives? How do you learn things at a higher level, right? Lots of downloads from the gods coming from the night. Right? A real elevation of how you perceive your reality, how you collect that information, Mercury, of your perspectives, being able to communicate and understand your perspectives. That's allowing for a deeper meaning in your day-to-day, allowing you to communicate that wisdom in the way that you work. That's facilitating your life path and your life purpose. So often that ninth house can get a bashing from the outside world because everything seems to be falling apart, right? So we can lose hope, we can fade away, we can stop remembering what our true perspectives are and be socially conditioned by the outside world. I really see a release around that, of you feeling very confident in the way that you're perceiving the unfolding of your life path and your career. You don't have to know all the details. You don't even have to have a plan. It's just that sense of confidence, of the capacity to understand the truth when it shows up and know what information that you need in order to facilitate it. Again, and putting it into practice of a deeper resonance of the meaning that you're finding on a day-to-day basis, which is overall giving you a lot more confidence in your understanding of your life path, right? I can also see a heightened level of your capacity to incorporate your perspectives and your wisdom into the way that you work, which may lead to more visibility and reputation around that. Right, let's get into the tarot. Oh yeah, there's that bonus card. So we have Nine of Cups, Six of Cups, Two of Cups, King of Pentacles. Big cup energy, not surprising, with Saturn being in the 12th, in its favourite place to be. You feeling good about yourself, feeling confident about your own existence, right? This sense of gratitude, this sense of inner abundance, the inner emotional flow. Overall, just you feeling very, I am what I am. Hello, Aries, right? My path is my path, and I'm going to build towards it. This was your bonus card, by the way. For some of you, this is the wish fulfillment card. So for some of you, there may be an activation of the next stage and a part of the wish of whatever wish it is that you have being activated with this cycle. I'm always wary of that because, you know, wishes can come true in lots of strange and different ways. And the way to get to it is to be in a state of emotional contentment and satisfaction with yourself and show up and love yourself and really not externalize that energy to the outside world. Six of Cups. So this feeling, the gratitude of your existence, right, is leading to a deep healing with the Six of Cups of any wounds from the past, any grief from the past, of perhaps things haven't manifested in the way that you'd like, right? Perhaps someone else got that pay rise, right? Perhaps you don't know what your career is. You don't know what your life path is. And there's a wound around that. There's a heaviness around that. That Six of Cups is saying, no, don't worry. Everything that's happened before is served to bring you into emotional balance. This is the biggest house on tarot. So it represents safety and security. It's also about smelling the roses and finding the joy in all that has come before and being present in the moment. We also have someone coming from the past. So someone might come along and bring you an opportunity. You might be meeting new people from your soul family or your guides coming through to really help soothe your soul so you can build from a place of abundance. Two of Cups, this sense of reciprocity, right? The sense of equality, respect, honor, dignity. They are eye to eye. They are equal height. There's deep healing going on here. They are both open to give and to receive. We've got masculine, feminine, and spirit, the integration of the self at an emotional level that's allowing you to be more open to receive the path of that's true to your soul. For some of you, this may be about a romantic relationship that is part of your soul path. But overall, I like to focus on the individual and your experience and what's going on in you, a recalibration of harmony within yourself, that is really stepping out of grief, out of loss, out of sacrifice, out of pain over not receiving or pain over giving, and not having that reciprocity, right? And it's really coming into union to bring in this King of Pentacles, your bonus card. Now, the King of Pentacles got to this space because it knew that every action that you take is an act of creation, is an act of abundance, and it held that near and dear to the way that it moves through the world. And the repercussions, I look at all those grapes, they represent the harvest. It's hanging out in a really big, beautiful garden with a massive castle. It's holding the golden scepter, and the only other person who does is the Empress, right? This capacity to create, you being in your sovereign power, you building from this place of abundance. For some of you, this may be being seen as this very mature sovereign self in the way that the outside world sees you, this sense of recognition, as well as your capacity to build and having the resources in order to fund it. And resources don't have to be money, right? You've got a lot of emotional resonance coming through that's facilitating this. Again, Saturn in the 12th, releasing those bonds, releasing those emotional blocks, that's allowing that magic to come through so you can create in the 3D world. Ooh, love it. Okay, so what we've got in terms of how to work with this energy, we have the 8 of Swords in reverse, the 7 of Swords, and the King of Cups. Now, the 8 of Swords is actually Jupiter in Gemini, and so this is you're going through a cycle of releasing limiting beliefs, right? Trapped in a cage of our own making, the illusion of perspectives. They're just sort of going like this over my left ear, of not being able to hear the truth, and not being able to speak the truth from the right side. I just heard we're clearing wounds in the heart and the throat. We want you to know that you are loved, and you have the strength and courage to walk your path. We are always with you. We will provide you with support and clues. Let it unfold. Be mindful and aware of when limiting beliefs come up, and maybe if you've got a tarot deck, bring this card out in reverse and activate a connection to your third eye of pulling those limiting beliefs and turning them and allowing the escape route, right? And if you notice here, there's water, and the way out is water of that emotional body. You're having a lot of healing go on with your emotional body that's allowing those limiting beliefs to fall away in the unconscious realm. Right? I've been putting in a very strong practice of thought processes and communications that limit and project, and allowing it to sort of happen, but then softening my mind and letting it dissolve, not connecting to it. And over that practice, which I've been implementing for quite some time, now that those limiting thoughts, when they come in, just sort of dissolve in the brain immediately. Like I'm not even having to go, no, not more, no more. I'm not finishing the sentence. They're like half, they don't have the momentum and the energy to do the whole thing. It's then asking you to think about this card, right? So this is all about stealing away the 5 of Swords and coming into a state of inner equilibrium. Because the 5 of Swords is about the bully and victim mentality, right? And the cycles that we can all go on back and forth between these two. I find the 5 of Swords is the most difficult card in tarot and one of the archetypal wounds that we are working through. The sense of domination and subjugation, the sense of winning at all costs, right? And this sense of competition and winning and losing, and that there is this polarity. And it's a very discordant, conflict-orientated energy. Now, this can be about how you view the world, right? And how things have unfolded, how authority may view you and feeling like you've not got the rewards that you wanted, as well as perhaps being a bit of a bully yourself. We're all bullies, we're often victims. It's very rare for that not to be the case, but it can be about the bully in the mind, right? Of like what's trying to constantly bring in heartbreak to you, right? That Three of Swords, because in the Five of Swords, they've won the Three of Swords. What's bringing in heartbreak? And that feedback loop where we can get a certain amount of power from that frequency, because it's an intense frequency, but it doesn't serve us in the long term. And this is about mindful practice of moving away from it, right? Because this figure is doing something different. It's stealing these away and leaving the Two of Swords, which is the moon in Libra, right? Which is finding your inner balance, your inner equilibrium, the truth of your truth. So it's really asking you to sort of reorientate your thought processes and put it into practice. There's honestly, the only thing is work. Showing up every day with those habits. It's not, you're not always going to get it every time, but really trying to put in that work of thinking, of allowing your thought processes, your perspectives to shift. And that's going to help soothe your emotional body and get you into a space of creating from abundance. Then the King of Cups. So you got two kings showing up. This is cool. This is very cool. Now the King of Cups, and this is so relevant for all those cups that were in the first pile. The King of Cups appreciates and values all the emotional responses, but isn't entangled within them. This figure is in the eye of the storm. It's aware the storm is going on around it, but it's not losing its standing. It's not drowning in that storm. It's very solid and secure in its emotional capacity, right? And being able to create from that space. And so it's calling you to really, when you're feeling quite overwhelmed, when you're feeling in the storm of your emotional body, to center yourself back to the King of Cups, right? And then try and lock into love. And allow that to roll over your body, and allow that to soothe you. Right? Emotions are transitory. We don't want to deny them. We never want to suppress them. The King of Cups does not do that. It understands the power within them, but the process that it needs to go through in order to step into that sovereign, creative, imaginative, love-orientated energy. You've got to go through that process in order to get there. So it is really saying, hey, look at finding the joy in your life, get creative, right? See what your emotions are telling you and see where it may lead to an imagination process that is getting you out of the limiting beliefs. Right, say you're in a deep steak. Like, well, I'm just getting the feeling of the heart being sort of, I don't want to say staked, that's quite intense, but they want me to say that. Of really flipping the switch on how you emotionally respond to that. Right, getting creative with that response, as well as letting that pain move through you, like, and really do a big sort of process around the release of that. Whatever feels right for you. You could do it with water, you could do it with movement, absolutely, and you could journal. And see if you let that frequency roll out to the end. It's just reminding me of tuning forks. When you're doing tuning forks on the body, or just in general, you're supposed to let it run to the end, even if you can't hear it, in order to end that, like, have a sense of completion. And I want you to do this being very mindful. Do not fall into the pit of it, right? You know when that happens. We know when that happens, when we're like, I'm not getting out of this one. Maybe if you've got like a protective crystal or something that represents protection for you from your higher self, your spirit team, whatever it is, have that around you when you're going through this process. Or have two vessels. Oh, not thought of this before. Have two vessels. One where the energy is going into that is no longer serving, right? The release point of this emotional body. And two, another vessel where you're filling up with love, that is filling up during this process. Maybe like what are they called, an hourglass, where the time's going from one thing to another. That other vessel is filling up with that love, that creation energy, and then doing some work with the transmutation of that energy together. Because you do got the Two of Cups, right? This sense of the flow, right? In the appreciation of both sides of these two energies. It's not about repressing or hiding from anything. It's the honoring of the release in order for the activation to come through. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Wands. This is Mercury in Sagittarius. That's the perspectives coming into an alignment, right? Of you're going to be instinctively guided to where you need to go, right? There's a real sense of you getting into a perspective and an awareness that serves the momentum and the movement of your career and your life path. Okay, so first up from the Oracle card, we have Watchers Transpersonal. Serendipity, the observer, witness, transpersonal. When Watchers appears, it's an invitation to stop doing. Pause, get off the treadmill and take a deep breath. Find the witness within, the one who can observe the fire and fury happening around you, but is not caught up in any of the drama. The time is right to step back. If you have a thought or opinion, keep it to yourself. If you have a feeling that needs to be expressed, do it in the shower. There you go, there's another practice. Do not engage with the action happening around you, simply observe. I mean, that's very King of Cups energy. And, you know, this can obviously relate to the drama of what may be going on in your career right now, right? That this is asking you to, as well as the drama internally as well. And they just put my chest really far forward, like the heart chakra. That there's getting in the observer mode. It's going to help you figure out, okay, what's real and what's not real. Where do I want to direct my energy? Watchers show up to direct your attention to the horizon and far from the anthill in front of you. Others might think you are simply doing nothing, but let them know that you are helping the sun set in the evening sky. There are bigger things to attend to. You have spent such a long time trying to correct the course of events and the actions of others. Let it be for a short while, as you become the observer rather than the doer. The Watcher invites you to break free from the linear causal pace of the petty day-to-day. Rise to divine coincidence, to serendipity. There's that Eight of Wands. And notice how the act of seeing the heart of the matter produces results. This also can be getting out of the fray of like that emotional body as well, those wounds that are coming up. Things happen, my third eye's throbbing as I say that. Things happen without you doing anything, because so often that emotional body is just recreating that drama from earlier years in our current moment. Creation unfolds in its own mysterious way, requiring only a sacred witness. You know, again, that emotional confidence, right? That emotional healing that's happening, that's allowing you, because this is very yin energy of the water, to let that unfold, and then you'll be able to act from a truer place of your own understanding, right? That sort of divine upgrade of how you build and how you manifest, that isn't about the drama anymore, isn't about the entanglement. Right, okay, let's get from Rainbow Brainskull. Connection is the only game. Put the pieces of the puzzle together. Instead of worrying about the million things that need to get done, focus on the one common thread between them, your ability to make things happen. Now, this feels very much this, of getting to the core of the emotional response that has caused perhaps lots of other things in your life to be disorientated. And again, also that burnout energy that we can get with the 10th of the lists of all the things you've got to do, of like, this is getting to the core archetypal thing of what does your emotional body want? What do your desires want? Where is your love? And how do you want to amplify it? Again, it's like getting out of your own head, right? Getting away from these limiting beliefs, getting out of conflict, freeing up your energy so you can create and build. Right. Last and final card, my lovely Aries. I'll be at the other end of the universe acting strange. Again, getting away from the fray, getting back to the truth of you and how you walk your path, and like really being able to be the truth of what you want to express in this life, rather than the conditioning of what a life purpose and career should look like, and what visibility and reputation should look like. That we can prioritize those things rather than the joy of the path itself. And it's so hard for us to navigate that. If you are truly in your own lane, there is no competition. Be an original Aries. Capricorn's very traditional, but it can break away from like the confines of civilization and into more of the earth resonance. And the bigger earth ecosystem. Deeper earth wisdom, spirituality of primal creation. Well, Aries, I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed this video, if it resonated, hit that like button. Brings me a lot of joy. Let me know what you did around the Capricorn solstice. For those of you who might want a personal Mars retrograde transit series, a personal reading based on the Mars retrograde, particularly relevant for you Aries as it is your ruler, or it's 50% off for those readings. So email me directly if you want to take me up on that offer. If you want a personal reading just in general, what's coming to the end with this nodal transit series for you, or anything at all, Saturn moving into your sign, Neptune moving into your sign, whoa, again, my website is everywhere. You can book directly through there, or if you want to pay by PayPal, email me directly. Other than that, Aries, be good to yourselves, be good to those around you, safe travels, and be well until we meet again.